Right. Amongst eight, I'm in game chat. Apologies. Hang on. Right, I can explain. I've been on holiday in Italy. I've just come back, and everything's messed up, right? Because I've not been here for a week. So yeah, I've got nothing set up right now, so it's all a bit of a mess. But we move. Yeah, apologies for starting the stream late. I'm always on holiday. Yeah, I can't really argue with that. I've been away quite a lot this year, actually. Well, 2023. Let me think. I went away in... Actually, July, August, October, December. But, God, it's the 31st of December. You basically class that as 2024. But yeah, you're right. I have been away a lot. That is a very fair thing to say. David, new driver, David Panisek. For now, I'm just gonna say David. David goes fastest around the Jeddah circuit with a 126.9. With 13 drivers this evening. I've got a new book, which is great. It gives me loads of stats about all the circuits that have ever been raced at in F1. So I'm going to be putting that to the test this evening. I'm actually going to go and get it, but I need to set everything up. Right, I'm ready, pretty much. David's still top in qualifying, out on a new lap. Yeah. On a set of softs. I might be wrong, but I'm not sure. Totally no pro, invalidated lap. Lorry Soldier, not an invalidated lap. I need to kind of get back into the whole swing of things. I'm a bit knackered because I was up ridiculously early. Right, here we go. This is what we want. The Jeddah Corniche circuit in Saudi Arabia, of course. First race ever at the circuit was in the penultimate round of the 2021 World Drivers' Championship, which saw Max Verstappen use questionable ethics to attempt to prevent Hamilton from winning the race. Hamilton, his last race win was at the Jeddah Corniche circuit back in 2021. Hasn't won since. Obviously, it was the first race of the 2021 season, but it was the second race of the 2022 and 2023 season. So a bit of a switch around on the calendar there. The race, when a full race is raced here, has 50 laps. Obviously, that'll be reduced to 25 possibly in this. 27 corners. circuit length of 3.836 miles, and I think it's had 3 different race winners. I believe Sergio Perez won here in 2023. Big spin there for Catet. Really replicating actually what Mick Schumacher did back in 2022. So he managed to just about keep it from going into the wall. Keyword just about. Reina rounds the 27th and final corner to cross the line. It's good enough for second. Oh, and he's only just over 1/100th of a second away from first. Good lap, but it's not good enough. Are you sure it was 2021? I'm pretty sure it was qualifying in 2022. Look it up, because I've got stuff on my computer that I can't like exactly get rid of. But because I need it for the stream. I want to make it close. Right, who said it was 2021? He also crashed in the race in 2021. Yeah, sorry. Probably should have specified I meant the qualifying. Yeah. My bad. That was bad. That race didn't loads of people. It was Mazepin, Mick Schumacher, loads of people crashed. Going through one of the, like... Which corner was it? It was like, yeah, multiple collision coming out of turn 2 following a restart in 2021. Brought a second red flag, because that was after a red flag, I think, or a safety car or something. And Mick Schumacher escaped unharmed following a heavy crash in his Haas Ferrari, well, his Haas, when he lost control at turn 10 during qualifying in 2022. Yeah. Let's try and look for someone who's actually on a lap. Well, one of these being Piney Penguin, who's going around turn 13. Here's an interesting one. Not a single corner at the circuit is named. I don't think they are, at least. Bit random though, really. So. Right, Piney Penguin rounding the final corner. Foot to the floor. Power down to the line. And power into the pits. Dirty Cal, however, will be finishing his lap. But that's only good enough. I don't even think there was an improvement there. There's not really much happening. Alright, Coys has started his lap. Let's ride on board with the McLaren driver. Turn 1 important to get turn 1 and 2 nailed. If you want to have any chance of a good lap. Coys does a very good job at keeping his foot to the floor through this section. Letting off just through turn 8 and 9. Power down, brake as late as you possibly can into turn 13. And then, I mean, this is the second, the track that has the second highest average speed on the calendar, second only to Monza. So it's a fast flowing track, one that the F1 drivers in real life quite like. Can't say the same for myself. I absolutely despise going to this track because I just always hit the wall. I'm just not consistent enough. Not as good as someone like Coys who can manage to keep the car out of the wall for every single lap. But that is That's really bad. I don't know who the Red Bull. Insiv not getting out of the way. That might have affected Koi's lap. We'll see as he gets to the line. Yeah, oh, sorry. I think it has. He did improve. But I think that was a very frustrated McLaren. Because what could have been, and whilst retiring his car hit Insiv. So, I guess that's karma. But I don't see how we can really say much. Get too angry. Because he has just ruined Insiv's lap there. So... an interesting one. Insiv's now retired from the session. Mikhail said too, I think he told Ern that he wasn't going to try as much this season because he just didn't enjoy the racing as much now or something. So he stopped putting as much time in. And it does sort of reflect on his championship position and everything. He did used to be up there. You can kind of tell that he doesn't care so much for it. It's more of a thing for fun now. But be interesting to see what the Mercedes driver can do. If he can defy those allegations. Catet to the line. Good enough for the fastest lap. Only by a 100th of a second though. Both drivers that are left to complete laps are still very much so in it. Totally No Pro will be next across the line in the Mercedes. Can he top the charts? He can get very, very close. 5,000ths away, but it's only good enough for P2. Mikhail about to cross the line, following his Mercedes teammate. It's only good enough for 6th at the moment. Here comes Rayner now next across the line. And he goes fastest by a couple of tenths as well. That was a great lap. But he's still got David left to complete his lap. And he's got a few more corners to go. Rayner up by 3.5. Oh, sorry, 3.5 tenths of a second. David still yet to cross the line. Comes out of the final corner. What's it going to be for the AlphaTauri? It is pole. With, I think that was a 126.392. It says it on his wheel there. A blistering lap. The last person to set a lap time as well. And he pulls it out the bag. Right at the very end. A spectacular end to the qualifying session. Beats Rayner by just under 2 tenths. But these two were in a league of their own. Look at the gap to third place, Catet. Totally No Pro. Just missing out on top 3. But he still gets a second row position. Koi's third row along with the Mercedes of Mikhail. Who, despite not claiming to not put as much time into the racing, is still, you know, fighting up there. Just 9 tenths off pole position. But it is the American who prevails in Saudi Arabia. Does that sound similar? America doing well in Saudi Arabia? What? What am I saying? Bit too political. I'm going to shut up now. I'm joking. I don't really care about American politics because I'm not American. We'll see how many laps we've got sooner rather than later. You really don't have to brake all too much around the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Which means that the drivers today will be running relatively high downforce. High downforce, is that the right time? I can never remember. If you've got high downforce, does that mean that you're closer to the ground? Honestly, someone's going to have to tell me. I'm stupid. Formation lap underway. And one man on his debut at Aurora Racing League has got it on pole. But can he convert that pole into a win? That is the question. We'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look at the tyres that everyone's on. It's a variation between the softs and the mediums. David and Rayner both on the mediums, Catet on the softs, Totally No Pro and his teammate Mikhail both on the mediums, but Kois, who's in between this Mercedes sandwich, on the softs. So Catet and Kois will be looking to probably try and put pressure on Rayner. Catet definitely, Kois, he will probably just want to be with Catet, making an impact there, because they are going for the more aggressive start. Not Lucas and his, oh no, not Lucas on the mediums, Gazelle on the mediums, Purple Haze on the softs, Piney Penguin on the mediums, Dirty and Lorry Soldier on the softs, and then Metal Johan Solid, we'll just say Johan, and Insiv on the mediums. They're rounding out the back of the grid. 14 drivers, 25 laps, 1 winner. Who will that be? Do you know what? If you want to, put a prediction. I can't set up predictions. I probably could. But I couldn't see it. Even if I did set it up, I wouldn't be able to see it anyway. Yeah, no, but type in chat who you think is going to win the race. Type in chat who you want to win the race. And we'll see how it goes. Gazelle gets disqualified right at the very end of qualifying. But I think we have everyone lined up on the grid. And thank you to EA Sports for giving me a horrific camera angle yet again for the start of the race. The lights are on ahead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. And it's a good reaction from the AlphaTauri driver. Just driving to cover off Rayner into turn 1. Catet under pressure from Totally No Pro, who's got away well, who's down the inside and past the Haas driver up into P3. Kois looking maybe for a move on Catet as well, but it doesn't come. And Gazelle is already out of the session, dropping down the order. I think that's probably a crash from the Aston Martin driver. And Kois dropping down. What happened there? There must have been contact from the McLaren driver, because he's dropped right down to 7th. Mikhail now sat in 5th. Catet 4th. Totally No Pro 3rd, and not a good start at all for Kois. Totally No Pro already putting pressure on the back of Rayner, and considering they're both on the mediums, you do think, well, maybe Totally No Pro has got a bit of pace that he maybe just didn't unlock in qualifying, putting Rayner under a lot of pressure. Mikhail was putting Catet under a lot of pressure. A really nice run, but he did exceed track limits quite heavily, so we might just back off in a attempt to be sportsmanlike. Right, well, we're about to complete the opening lap of the Grand Prix, rounding the 27th corner of the Jeddah Corniche circuit, and already Totally No Pro all over the back of Rayner. Rayner swerving, and so is David, because he knows that he's got the McLaren driver hunting him down, but the McLaren driver of Rayner in the papaya orange car has got to be careful, because that machine of a Mercedes, obviously it wasn't in real life, is behind him, and Totally No Pro is at the wheel. Insiv and Dirty exchanging positions. There is a bit of a fight building up. There's a big train, but a massive gap to not Lucas. But there's a nice little three-way battle for P1, and it's impossible to look away. I did see Paolo / Young Leader in the chat, so good to see you. 2-week break. I've just come back from another holiday, as I think it was Kois pointed out. Yep. But no, good to see you. Bit of a fight heating up in the back there between Catet, Mikhail and Kois, but we can't look there, because here comes Totally No Pro on the back of Rayner. Into turn 27, doesn't go for the move. But he will get DRS, but Rayner's also going to get DRS on David. And there could be a few position changes, but I think there might just be one. The Mercedes gaining and gaining on Rayner. But into turn 1, he doesn't go for it. But Mikhail is going to go for it around the outside of Catet. He's on the inside line, he gets past, and so does Kois. And now Kois is going to put Mikhail under a bit of pressure because those soft tyres working well from Catet loses 2 positions in 1 corner. That's not great for him. And watch Kois all over the back of the Mercedes. Oh, but just losing it in the rear there. And Catet's out the race. He's spun it. He's lost the car, and that is call for a safety car. Let's just see if we can see the damage. The damaged Haas. No, it's been cleaned up now. But he just lost it. Going through what I believe is turn 8? Turn 7, turn 8. That area of the track. It's really, really difficult to tell. I've got a track map and everything. It doesn't help. I think it was turn like 7 and 8 though. The safety car out, it begs the question, do the front runners pit? And the answer is no, but I think they were trying to bait each other to go in. If you saw that, Rayner swerved away. David was riding on the line but didn't drop. Kois and Mikhail have both jumped at the opportunity. Mikhail to get the hards on. That is an interesting choice from the Mercedes. And on comes another... Well, it looked like another set of mediums, but I'm pretty sure Kois started on the softs, didn't he? And Ern, finally, where have you been? Back in the chat. I also saw Paolo say, my wheel broke, so that's why I've not been playing. That makes sense. I was a bit confused, because you were often in chat, but not in the races. I had Corona, was dying in bed. That is not good to hear. Catet leaves the session. Hang on, let me fix my microphone. Alright. I hope you're okay now, Ern. But good to have you back. We've had a 2-week break. It's been Christmas. It's been great. You're good now. Good to hear. Kois and Mikhail. One on the medium, one on the hards. Both Mercedes-powered cars. But at the front, David hasn't been as comfortable as maybe he would have liked. Not able to break away from Rayner and totally no pro. And you could argue that a safety car has kind of helped him recollect a little bit. I don't know if Catet would be in chat, but if he is, I'd love to get his, what happened, about basically. Thoughts. Not thoughts, but tell us what happened with this crash. 2 people out already. Gazelle out in the first few corners, and then Catet out a few laps later. Yeah. It came out because Catet put it in the wall through turn 7 and 8. Lost the rear, I imagine, in an attempt to make overtakes. And Dirty is into the pits. Currently on the softs, but he's going to make the switch to mediums. Haas team working well under the safety car. The only thing that was quick about the Haas team. And the safety car is out for at least another lap. Well, I say at least another lap. I mean for the rest of this lap. I imagine it will be in. I just hope there's not too many safety cars. I mean, it is Jeddah, so there probably will be, but I hate safety cars. In this track, 27 corners, so you don't really want a safety car here. I mean, some of the things that they class as turns are just not turns. Like 10, 11 and 12, right? Turn 13 is the one they've just gone around now. They just did that big hairpin, right? Basically like a halfway point for the track. That's 13. You see the straight line on the track leading up to 13. There's a little squiggle behind it, and apparently that's 3 different turns. Turn 10, turn 11, and turn 12. I mean, it's crazy. Turn 19, turn 20, and turn 21 are barely turns either. There's a slight flick of the steering wheel, but they do have to be classed as turns. But it is crazy. It's an interesting looking track as well, just from visual perspective from what we see. It's very long, very thin. Don't take that out of context. Right, safety car in this lap, which means we will be getting back to green flag racing very shortly. You can see the Aston Martin, Aramco, Cognizant Formula 1 team sponsored safety car there, re-entering the pits, and you can see David in the AlphaTauri leading them around the final corner, warming the tyres up, and he's gone, and he has kind of caught Reina napping in Civ pits, which is just a terrible time to come into the pits. I'm not really sure why he's done it. Contact made. Purple haze goes around Mikhail, Koiz, and basically everyone except for Insiv, the beneficiaries of that incident. Reina, sorry, under a lot of pressure from Totally No Pro. And David is just pulling away ever so slightly. And this is probably what the AlphaTauri driver wanted from the get-go of this race. Reina needs to do everything he can to stay within a second of the AlphaTauri if he really wants a chance of winning this race, because otherwise he'll just stop pulling further and further away, and that 1 second gap's already been achieved. And Reina's got to worry about the car behind him as well, because Totally No Pro is out and looking for blood in the terms of overtakes. Mikhail under pressure from Koiz, but he won't fold just yet. Big train of cars, by the way, behind them. Here. But nothing doing there. Mikhail just about keeping his lead, but there is a big slipstream that he's giving that McLaren driver, and he's going to give the McLaren driver a very big run. Down the start, finish straight. David setting the fastest lap. Reina's back within a second of him, which is good news for the McLaren driver. But his teammate just stuck behind the Mercedes at the moment, struggling to find a way through. He's almost going to conjure up a special overtake around the outside into 7, but it wasn't to be. That's really difficult to place to even think of an overtake. Mikhail holding out, but dropping back from the Ferrari in front of him. Well, not anymore. He's gaining rapidly. Not Lucas, not able to keep up with the pack in front of him, and he's dropping, and he's about to be some food to these 2 hungry sharks of drivers behind him. They've got nothing to lose in this race, and you can see it. They're right on the line. Koiz still all over the back of the Mercedes, but he just can't find a way past. And that's my problem with this track. You can get really close to the car ahead, but then where do you go? Oh, spin! Big spin. No, he didn't spin, but he lost the rear end, Mikhail, and that has compromised Koiz. Koiz going into the back of him, losing his front right end plate. That is not what Koiz wanted to see at all. Yellow flags, DRS has been enabled though. Koiz will not be happy at all. I mean, it's difficult. Mikhail, can you blame him? He lost the rear, so he basically brake checked Coy's. I mean, it's a racing incident, isn't it? Because you can't blame Coy's for being up the back of Mikhail. You can't blame Mikhail because it wasn't intentional. He just lost the rear. Coy's went into the back of him because Coy's was all over the back of him. I think it's a racing incident. It's more so Mikhail's fault for losing it through the corner. But it's probably a racing incident. But I'm not sure. Ern is Mr. FIA. So, well, I think he is at least. Johan goes past Lorry Soldier and up into 6th. And Mikhail is hunting down, not Lucas. But here comes Totally No Pro. DRS enabled. No move there. But he's going to get another dosage of DRS. On the run down to 27. Now if he's smart, he won't try and get past the McLaren in front of him. Because that would only give Rayner the DRS back down the main straight. And that's exactly what he's done. A smart play. Will it play off? We ride on board with the McLaren. No, the Mercedes. And he goes flying past the McLaren down the straight. And comfortably up to P2. And now he can begin his pursuit on the AlphaTauri. Mikhail, whilst this is going on in front of him, finds a way past the Ferrari into turn 1. Gets his elbows out and keeps the position. Dirty into the pits. He only has Purple Haze behind him, who's really going to gain a position. And he might not gain a position, honestly, with how long it is. I think he will. Just about. Rayner not dropping out of touch at all with Totally No Pro. Totally No Pro is more so dropping out of touch with David in front of him. And these two fighting just means that they can't keep with the man who does lead the race. They might be banking on a safety car. I wouldn't blame them either, because it's very likely that there will be a safety car this race. Another one. And also, with Dirty, he must have had a front wing change or something, because he did drop positions to Piney and Coys as well. Right, round in the final corner, and sorry, I'm just stupid, because I completely missed Rayner getting by Totally No Pro. But Totally No Pro predictably gets the position back as he regains DRS, and not Lucas. Didn't really drop at all from Mikhail. And he might just try it down the inside into turn 1. No, he thinks better. Doesn't make a rash decision. But Mikhail struggling to shake the Ferrari off his tail. And being 6 seconds behind Rayner, who is, and Totally No Pro, who are faster drivers, this is probably the only action that Mikhail might see this race. Well, for now, 10 laps into this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Totally No Pro staying around the same distance from the AlphaTauri, maybe just beginning to reel him in a little bit. Rayner, on the other hand, not really reeling in Totally No Pro. DRS will do him some good though. Bring him a little bit closer to the Mercedes. Will he launch an attack down the start-finish straight? Not Lucas, mate, because he's all over the back of Mikhail. Here comes Rayner. No move into turn 1. Watch though Mikhail. Under pressure from the Ferrari, but the Ferrari obviously doesn't get as good of an exit as Mikhail, because he kind of drops back quite a bit. So we kind of reached that point in the race. There are cars that are close together, but not close enough to overtake each other. I mean, not Lucas. I think Mikhail's making mistakes in front of him. What? I apologise. Siri thought I was talking to him, clearly. But, yeah, not Lucas. He is close to Mikhail. I think Mikhail is making mistakes, which is helping him stay as close as he is. Gets DRS, and he's going to get 2 more. Bruh, I thought someone was speaking to me, yeah. Don't know why, he just started piping up there. Just caution for yellow flags, and that looks like an Alfa Romeo that's going slowly, of Piney Penguin. Here comes not Lucas, and there goes Rayner into the pits. Not Lucas then. Looks so close to the back of the Mercedes. 2/10 and DRS. Surely this is where he's going to get the move. Down towards turn 1. Taking the inside, but he just can't. I don't know how. Mikhail must be on a higher downforce. He must be running closer to the ground. Because his DRS doesn't seem to be helping not Lucas at all. Absolutely. I'm bewildered. I can't believe he hasn't got past him. Look how close he is throughout the whole lap. I think Mikhail is running closer to the ground though, because it would explain why Lucas is able to stay with him so well. He's better through the turns, the twists and bends of the track. But then, when you just want to flat out put the foot to the floor and drive, all of a sudden he just can't keep up. Someone who can keep up though is totally no pro, because out of nowhere he's closed massively to the AlphaTauri. Are his tyres going off? I'm not entirely sure, but we could see a change in lead unless one of them pits. And I think we'll see one of them pit sooner rather than later. But we'll wait and see. Bit of DRS for the Mercedes driver. And around the final corner, let's see who pits and who doesn't. Lucas going for the Mercedes, not quite into turn 27. Well, totally no pro is close, not close enough for a move, but neither of them go into the pits. Oh, Mikhail looking like he might go into the pits, but doesn't. The heli shots on this track look amazing. If you ever find my Twitter, which is, I think it's just RMD, Rayner getting past Johan, I have a video of one of the heli shots on this game. Wow. Honestly, this was back on F1 2021 as well. What? It was beautiful. So beautiful. I've kind of gotten to a state where I'm not really talking, but there's not much to talk about. Well, there wasn't much to talk about, but Coys is out. Yeah, it was. It was released later on, and there's a crash from the McLaren, losing the front right wheel. Will we see a safety car? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Into the pit, so it looks like Totally No Pro is going to go. Not Lucas, still all over the back of Mikhail. Will Mikhail pit? And if he does, it'll be a double stack. No, he doesn't. Look at how much speed he gets on the straight. Insiv retiring from the session, reducing it to only 10 drivers. And there is a safety car. Dirty gets him a 10-second time penalty for the collision with Insiv, and I'm kind of interested to see what happens to Insiv now, but I can't. Safety car though. That begs a few questions. So first, it helps out Totally No Pro kind of, but then it doesn't, because he pitted and was coming out of the pits when the safety car started. So that's kind of a pain for him. Rayner's already pit. Not Lucas and Mikhail both missed it ever so slightly. David, he's got a big gap. Do you think he's just going to go into the pits? I think he will. I think this has probably benefited the AlphaTauri the most. So yeah, Jeddah was released on 2021. It was released later on into the game's development. So by that I mean when the game was still a thing, it was added later, basically. Like it was added in 2022, I think. Well, no, it wasn't. It was added in like probably like a month or so on the run up to the race, maybe 2-3 months up on the run up to the race, something like that. And the reason why people remember it, well, the reason why I remember it, is because, right, let's watch this pit stop. You know how they have green, what they call green curbs? So you know how they have green curbs? At Jeddah, they had red curbs in the game. Ooh, front wing change for the AlphaTauri. Sees Totally No Pro take the lead of the race because Totally No Pro, remember, pitted a lap before the safety car. Has this just benefited the Mercedes driver? And also, not Lucas stayed... Oh no, not Lucas must have pit, surely. Now, Dirty gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. That's not good. Obviously, we've seen 4 DNFs. Gazelle and Katet crashing out on the opening laps. Koi's crashing into the wall, but not bringing out a safety car. Insiv, though, crashing with Dirty, which did bring out the safety car. Here's one for you. F1 2021 is coming up to being 3 years old. I don't like that fact. Right. Safety car will be in shortly. F1 2021 was my favourite F1 game. It was so good. Then we got F1 22, and that was shocking, and I really fell out of love with just racing, which is why I actually got into commentary, mainly, because I bought the F1 22 game, and I didn't want it to go to waste, so I just got into commentating instead of racing. But yeah, I need to play 23 a bit more. I'm just so bad with racing. Like, I don't know what happened. I was really good on 2021. I was a lot younger as well. But I was rapid on the old game. Like, for example, back in 2021, I'd easily be able to compete in a league like this. But, yeah, after that, I mean, no chance last year. This year, I would be down there. I would not be good. Safety car not in this lap. God, safety cars are so painful, you know. Like, there's just nothing to talk about. I've already said everything that I can. It's just like sitting here and waiting. It's because the track's so long. So you're restricted. The safety car's restricted to a certain speed. But there's 27 corners. 27 turns of this track. And we're not even halfway through the lap yet. It just takes an age. Right, whilst we pass time, quick, give me a track. Any track ever that's been in F1, and I'll give you some facts about it. Hurry up, because this is coming to an end now. Oh, bloody hell. I don't think I'm going to be able to... right. Is it pronounced Magello or Magello? Genuine question. Magello. Right, hang on. Right. Never mind, we're friggin' racing again. Totally no pro, wasted absolutely no time either. Getting away straight away. Leaving everyone in the dust. And now, the AlphaTauri of David is under pressure from Mikhail. Just slots in behind him in third. But totally no pro has caught everyone lapping, and he's got 8 laps to hang on to a lead, and he's already got a 2-second advantage. That was a great getaway from the Mercedes driver. Right, okay, No, never mind, hang on. Rayner, he's down in 5th, so his race has kind of gotten worse and worse because of the safety car, and also from the fact that there was contact. Why is the title Italian? You're joking. Right, it's a glitch. I changed it to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, but obviously it's not saved. It'll be down as the Italian Grand Prix because that's what the last Grand Prix was. I did update it to Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. That's so annoying. Anyway, around the outside goes Rayner on not Lucas. I hate Twitch, you know. I really do hate it. It's so crap. And up into P4, but can he hold it down the straight? Totally No Pro goes fastest, and he's on the hards. David's on the softs, but he just can't get anywhere near the Mercedes driver. Speaking of Mercedes drivers, Mikhail, there's a bit of traffic that Rayner will want to clear, wants fierce rivals in the league. But Mikhail, he's just stopped trying as hard as he used to. Right, oh no! I looked down for a second and Mikhail spins out and gets going again. That's another mistake from Mikhail. In this race, he hands P3 to Rayner. Doesn't even have to work for it. But not Lucas is still knocking on the door. Despite being dispatched before, he was never truly gone. Flowing. And DRS will be open sooner rather than later. And the Ferrari will really be giving Rayner some trouble. Someone is also in a bit of trouble, and that is Totally No Pro. The gap now under a second. Here comes not Lucas. All over the back of Rayner now. Oh, rear wing to front wing. Nearly making contact there. DRS enabled. The Ferrari obviously won't get it down this straight. But it's not long until he will. He's not going to go for it down the inside. But how much longer can Rayner really hold on? How much longer can Totally No Pro hang on? David is all over the... Well, he's going to be all over the back of the Mercedes. And on the soft tyre. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Unless we see some of the greatest bit of defensive driving we've ever seen. Hold on. We've got a safety car. Why have we got a safety car? Who's lost their front wing? I swear, if it was dirty. Oh no, it was Lorry Soldier. Totally No Pro has been handed a lifeline. Yep, because of a front wing, of course it is. Right, Mugello. Quick. The lap record was Hamilton. Because there's only ever been one race there. Which was on the 13th of September 2020. 15 corners, 59 laps. 35 kilometres north of Florence. The circuit length was 3.259 miles, which is 5.245 kilometres. The fastest lap was a 1 minute 18.833, and into the pits goes Totally No Pro, and also David. Onto the softs goes Totally No Pro. Will it be the same for the AlphaTauri? Yes, it will. Both of these guys on softs. And Mikhail doesn't pit at all. Well, hold on a minute. The man who spun out and dropped to 6th on the grid from 3rd might be in with a shot to win. And Purple Haze hasn't pit either. But he's on a few penalties, and something tells me he has possibly not got the race pace. Rayner. Did Rayner pit? Yeah, Rayner did pit. Actually, everyone pit except for Piney Penguin because he hasn't come near the pitch yet. And Purple Haze and Mikhail. And everyone's on the softs except for those names I just listed. This is going to be a very interesting end to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Oh yeah. Mugello, actually, was that time when there was... Bottas was leading, wasn't he? And he did the dodgy safety car restart, and then there was a massive crash, and Giovinazzi and all of those lot, you know, Grosjean was involved, and Grosjean quoted, that is the most dangerous thing I've ever seen in F1, and then later on got into his fireball crash. And a suspected puncture on Lance Stroll's Racing Point at 170 miles an hour, caused a heavy crash at the exit of the second Arrabbiata, which is the name of a corner. It's like the Les moves at Monza, basically. There you go. Grosjean did not have a good 2020. He did not have a good 2020. But then he went to IndyCar and did alright. I mean, why does the car sound like that? Anyway, give me another track quickly. Miami, easy. Obviously, Miami, fake marina circuit introduced in 2022. It was by the Hard Rock Stadium. It's called Miami International Autodrome. Not very creative. It has 57 laps, 19 corners. It's stage 2 Grand Prix. It's got a circuit length of 3.362 miles, 5.412 kilometers. The first Grand Prix was on the 8th of May 2022. Real boats in a fake marina provided a major social talking point for the first Grand Prix in 2022. And if you remember, the crash between Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly's AlphaTauri brought life to the end of the 2022 Grand Prix, because up until then it was pretty dominant from that one Dutch guy that I really don't fancy. If you also remember, Lando Norris wearing the basketball helmet, which is one of the best custom helmets ever. Oof, what a helmet that was. He did have the beach ball the year later, but that wasn't as good. We have time for one more. Quick, Owen, go. I'm just gonna mods. I don't even have any mods. Someone time out Earn for saying that word, please. Safety car might come in at the end of this lap. Do Imola. That's a good one. The Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. The one where, sadly, Ayrton Senna, one of the greatest to ever do it in motorsport, passed away. Right. So, wait, are we racing? We're racing. Well, totally no pro. Is holding his own. David. Mikhail spun. Yeah, he's right. Rayner up into third. Within a second, now he's not. It's pretty even split between those from 1 to 3rd. Johan in 4th, which is an unlikely 4th position. Lucas is going to hunt him down. 30. In P6, yeah, I completely missed the start. Yeah, I know, I've absolutely failed as a commentator. I was that bored. I thought the safety car was out for another lap. So I was doing something. Right, here comes David on the back of Totally No Pro. They are both on the same set of tyres. So this is down to pure racecraft now. As they go through the final few corners of this track. Going through turn 26 now. And this is the helicopter shot we know and love. Into 27. And it's foot to the floor. This is a race of horsepower, but because cars are equal, it's a race of downforce. Rayner just just off the back of this little battle that's going on here. Purple sector 1. Purple final sector, sorry, from Totally No Pro. As he starts lap 24 in the lead. Will... I think DRS might be a factor for 1 lap and 1 lap only. And that would be the final lap of the race. So we'll have to wait and see. David just dropping off the back of the Mercedes, and it's looking less and less likely. Can Reina get involved, or is it too late? Can Lucas get past the Aston Martin, or is it too late? Almost a second the gap. This is not what the AlphaTauri wanted to see at all. He's raced well, but Totally No Pro has just one-upped him. And Reina, it's been disappointing for the McLaren. David doesn't want to let it slip away, but it is slipping away. Nearly a second the gap. He's just about keeping within, only because of a slipstream. Going through the final corner, and the gap is just 9.5 tenths. Totally No Pro sets the fastest lap of the race, and the gap's now over a second. DRS is enabled, but David can't use it. Now he can. It's going to be very, very tight, but even with DRS, is he going to be able to bring himself close enough? Not Lucas also is all over the back of Johan, but the DRS will be the defining factor on whether or not he does get past the Aston Martin driver. The AlphaTauri is barely staying within a second. He keeps dropping out and then getting back in, but it does look like it's too far now. It's too much. Totally No Pro might have done enough. We go and look at Lucas, who's all over the back of Johan, but again DRS will be the defining factor there. 1.4 tenths now, 1.4 seconds, sorry, the gap. Totally No Pro to David, and I think Totally No Pro might have just done enough. The Ferrari and not Lucas, not wanting to settle for 5th, he wants 4th, but the Aston Martin driver is having none of it. But can he stop the Ferrari from getting through? He lets off and goes down the inside. It's a great move from the Ferrari, and at the last second does get up to P4. There's nothing that David can do now, as Totally No Pro crosses the line to win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. David 2nd, Reina 3rd, Lucas 4th, Johan 5th, and Dirty crosses the line for 6th, Mikhail 7th. But I don't think that's a happy 7th at all for Mikhail. Too many mistakes, a race plagued with mistakes. And all you can ask is what it could have been for the Mercedes driver and lorry soldier, bringing up the back of the pack. Andrew extends his championship lead. Honestly, we don't have the app anymore, or it isn't synced or something, so I don't actually know who's leading the championship and stuff. Like I have to look at the end of the race, so that's not great. Well, that concludes the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and Totally No Pro does take the win. Lucas with a overtake right at the death of the Grand Prix to secure 4th. And a great move it was as well. I know he's in the chat. I mean, what a move. He just looked. He thought he was going to the outside, and then he lets off and switches to the inside. right on the swooping turn 26. It was a really nice move to watch. Your first points as well. 4th. You take that any day of the week. Any day of the week. Fastest lap by totally no pro, and the fastest lap would suggest that the race was dominant, but a race played with safety cars meant this was very much so not the case. He did win. It was a hard-fought battle, but he did win. David will be asking questions of if he could have done better, but I just don't think the luck was necessarily on his side. Rayner finishing 3rd. I don't think luck was necessarily on his side either in the race, but mistakes left, right and centre for the Czech man, Mikhail. And I think that's a race that he will look back at without great fondness. Haven't been here for a month and the first race is already chaos. Every race has been gooder and you've missed some absolute bangers. Anyway, thank you to everyone who tuned in for the stream. Thank you, Ern. Welcome back. And hopefully you don't fall ill, because I missed my Ted Kravitz in all honesty. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. There was a lot of technical errors today because I was on holiday, and yes, please take the mick out of me because I'm always on holiday. Coys made sure that I knew that. Yeah, it was a bit... I don't know why it says the Italian Grand Prix. I did change that when I guarantee you, when I checked the whole live bit as well, to go live again, it will say Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Twitch is just... yeah, not a massive fan of it, but it is what it is. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, and we will see you again next week. But from me and everyone else from Aurora Racing League, good morning, good afternoon, or good night.